उत्प्रणाम। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्प नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्येश्वरं। श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन जी की जय, श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय, जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा माई की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Thank you so much everyone for joining in Japa's session. So today we will conclude the Kevalashtakam, the text 8. సో ఈరోజు మనము 8వ శ్లోకం ఏదైతే ఉందో అది చూద్దాము. सो आज हम 8वें श्लोक का चर्चा करेंगे और उसके साथ आज हमारा केवलाष्टकम का जो सेमिनार सीरीज है उसको हम समाप्त करेंगे. ओके, सो वी विल बिगिन इन इंग्लिश फर्स्ट एंड देन आई विल टेक इट इन तेलुगु एंड देन आई विल टेक इट इन हिंदी. Okay, so this will be a little lengthy topic today because the last text is there. So many things are there which I'll try to finish as soon as possible, but otherwise I request you all to be patient and listen to it carefully because this is one of the most important out of all 8. Okay, all are important, and recently I got to know where Govardhan Prabhu told me that actually Kevalashtakam is not Ashtakam, it is actually Dashakam. No, not Dashakam, it is Shatakam. So there were 100 verses of the Kevalashtakam, but we could only find 8. So our acharyas could actually secure only 8. So you can imagine how much glorious we can actually discuss about the holy name. The same Hare Krishna Mahamantra which we are chanting, those glories are unlimited. And somehow, fortunately, at least we have 8 and we are able to discuss. So let us try to discuss this and increase our appreciation towards the holy name. So whatever we are chanting, let us put more heart and more love so that we can get the effect of the holy name which it is supposed to give us. So we'll sing the Shikshashtakam and then we'll go with the explanation. मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्. मधुरं मधुरेभ्योऽपि मङ्गलेभ्योऽपि मङ्गलम् पावनं पावनेभ्योऽपि हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम् आब्रह्मस्तम्भपर्यन्तं सर्वमायामयं जगत् सत्यं सत्यं पुनः सत्यं हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम् सगुरो सपिता चापि समता बन्धवोऽपि सः शिक्षये चेत् सदा स्मर्तुम् हरे नामेव केवलम् हरेर्नामेव केवलम् निःश्वासे नाहि विश्वासः कदा रुद्धो भविष्यति कीर्तनीयमतो बाल्यात् हरेर्नामेव केवलम् हरेर्नामेव केवलम् हरि सदा वसेत् तत्र यत्र भागवता जनाः गायन्ति भक्तिभावेन हरेर्नामेव केवलम् हरेर्नामेव केवलम् अहो दुःखं महादुःखम् दुःखतरं यतः काचार्थं विस्मृतं रत्न हरेर्नामेव केवलम् हरेर्नामेव केवलम् दीयतां कर्णो नियतां वचः गीयतां नित्यं हरेर्नामेव केवलम् हरेर्नामेव केवलम् त्रीणि कृत्य जगत् सर्वं राजते सकलोपरि चिदानन्दमयं शुद्धं हरेर्नामेव केवलम् हरेर्नामेव केवलम् हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Shri Kevalashtakam ki jai. So today my voice is not so good. I have a little throat infection, so the energy and maybe quality will be little less. So I request you all to adjust with that. So today we will see about the text 8. So we have seen the text 1 to 7 and we have understood that on how it is auspicious and very sweet in the first text, and how starting from the Brahma to the insignificant blade of grass, everything is Maya only. So just thinking that, by improving our material position, if we think that we can be happy, then that is Maya. Okay, we have to improve our material position, but at the same time, we have to progress in spiritual path also. In the third, we have seen who is the real mother, real father, real relative, or real guru is the one who actually reminds us that Harer Nameva Kevalam. So we value all the relationships, but we have to see in connection with Krishna, and all the relationships are supposed to help us to go closer to Krishna. And in the fourth, we have seen that death can befall on us at any time. And what we have to consider that all the things in this world are temporary. So rather than just focusing on the temporary material things in this world, we have to focus on that which is eternal, which is permanent, that is Hare Nameva Kevalam. And in the fifth shloka, we have seen that wherever the devotees gather and chant the glories of the holy name, when they talk about Rupa Guna Leela of the Krishna, there Krishna will be present. He is not there in the Vaikuntha, he is not there in the hearts of the yogis, but he is there wherever his glories are being chanted by the devotees. So we cannot perceive Krishna in Vaikuntha, we cannot perceive as yogis. So that is why we have to perceive by glorifying the Lord in the association of devotees. And in the sixth text, we have seen like it is very, very most unfortunate thing that we consider a diamond to be a piece of glass, the Ratna Kachartham Vismrutam Ratna. So the holy name is with us, but still we look outside for the pleasure, we look outside for the solution, because holy name is the solution for everything. And leaving that, we we actually going outside somewhere else, and it is the most unfortunate thing. And in the seventh text, we have seen that how we have to engage our senses in the service of Rishikesha, that is the Lord of the senses, right? So the same senses which can become the cause of the bondage in this material world can also become the cause for the liberation from this material world. So rather than using our tongue, eyes, ears, and all in doing something else, something material, if we utilize this in glorifying the Lord, listening about the Lord, having the darshan of the deities, then these same senses will actually liberate us. Okay. Now, in the text 8 today, we will see this verse. त्रीणिकृत्य जगत्सर्वं राजते सकलोपरि चिदानन्दमयं शुद्धं हरेर्नामेव केवलम् हरेर्नामेव केवलम्. So what it says, Trinikritya Jagat Sarvam, it makes the entire universe seem insignificant as a blade of grass. Rajate Sakalo Pare, it reigns supreme over all in a splendorous manner. Chidanandamayam Shuddham, it is full of eternally conscious divine ecstasy. What is that? Hare Namaiva Kevalam, it is supremely pure. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. Now, this holy name is like a king of all the auspicious things, all the things that can actually purify us, all the things which are sweet and which are like purifying. Out of all those things, this holy name actually is like a king. It reigns over all in a splendorous manner. Okay, so we'll try to see what this Trinikritya Jagat Sarvam is actually talking about. So, in general, if we see now, when we talk about positive thinking, okay, now here the Trinakritya Jagat Sarva means it makes the entire universe seem insignificant as a blade of grass. So, what does this mean? Means when we talk about positive thinking, in general, you might have heard when we see a half glass of water, if we are seeing that it is half empty, then we are having negative thinking. If we see it like half full, then we say that it is positive thinking. So, in this positive thinking, what we are doing is we are changing our perception. That means changing what we are seeing. We are not seeing how much it is empty, but we are seeing that how much it is full. So, bhakti is not only about changing the perception, bhakti is about changing the perspective. So, what is the difference between changing our perception and changing our perspective? Perception means we are changing what we are seeing. Just like in the example of half full, half empty, we are not seeing that it is half empty, but we are seeing that it is half full. So, change of perspective means not only changing what we are seeing, but changing from where we are seeing. We used an example of when there is a one-story building on the left side and a 50-story building on the right side. The difference is huge when we are walking on the road. But when we are flying in a plane, what it is there, the difference is very insignificant. We cannot notice also. So what we have seen, we have not shifted our focus from this building to that building, but we have actually shifted the place from where we are going to see. So bhakti actually elevates our consciousness so that we can see the things from a different perspective. Now, actually, if we see that when we come to bhakti, we don't see based on the bodily level. Okay, we understand that I am not this body, I am the soul, and we start seeing things from the soul's perspective, right? Okay, there are many things on the bodily level, but I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am actually soul. So what I have to do, what will make me happy, what I should do, I should see from the soul's perspective. Okay, what is permanent, what is temporary, what I have to focus, what I have to reject. So all these things we see from the soul's perspective. Now, if we talk further, bhakti is not only about changing the perspective, but also it shifts our reference point also. Now, this is little technical, which may sound, but you can easily understand with an example. For suppose we are flying in a plane, okay, and if we are almost, many thousands of feet height, and the plane is moving, and we are seeing only clouds. Then, if you see in the window, you don't feel like the plane is moving because there is a vast sky, and you see at the wing and you see at the outside, you feel like the plane is moving very slowly. But some of the planes will have some kind of LCD boards in front of us, where there will be written what height we are at, what speed we are going, and we see that the plane is moving with 500 kilometers per hour speed. But when we look at outside, it feels like the train is going slow, the flight is going very slowly, and sometimes we feel like flight is not moving itself. But as soon as it lands, or as soon as it is trying to take off, we can see that the speed is increasing, the buildings are passing by, and very swiftly it is actually taking off or landing down. So that time we can experience the motion. Okay, it is going very fast. But when it is in the sky, when it is a vast sky, we feel like it is not moving. When it is coming down, we see that it is moving very fastly. So what happened? The plane is actually moving fast only, but the reference, if it is the vast sky, then we feel like it is not moving. But when it is the reference is the land, then we will see that it is moving fastly. So what we have to understand from this is, for many people, the reference of life is this material world. That means whatever changes happens in this material world, they actually agitate us more. Okay, so some people are consistently watching news, and the breaking news is breaking at every moment. Some or other breaking news is coming, and that will start agitating them. So their reference point is whatever happens in this world, that is going to affect me. If we are living with this kind of reference point, then what will happen? Every news will start affecting us. The petrol prices go up, it will affect our life. The petrol prices go down, it will affect our life. If the sugar prices go off, if the vegetable prices go off, so every small thing will become a huge thing for us. Why? Because the reference of our life has become this only material world. So that is why if someone insults us, it becomes very big. If someone says something to us, it becomes very big. So much big that we keep on thinking even while chanting, oh, how come that person can say this to me? How come this thing is happening like that? Oh, if things are going like that, then what will happen to this world and all? So all the changes that are happening in this world will start us very much affecting, they start affecting us very much, that we actually lose focus on Krishna. So what is the definition of news? So they say, one of the famous person says that what is news means old things happening to new people. So you see all the news, the people will be changing, but the misery will be same. Today something wrong happened with this person, that is news. After few days, the same thing happening to the another person, that becomes a news. So what is news means the old things happening to the new people, that is news. So what we have to observe is, as long as we have a position, or we have a reference of this world, that means whatever happens in this world, that going to affect us. If we are in that position, then what will happen? We cannot have taste in bhakti, we cannot understand bhakti. Some people, when they come to temple, they say, like, we see all the other demigods, or some people, or some of the deities, they are in a blessing position. But we see that Krishna is not blessing us. He is holding a flute, and he is lost in his own world. Why he is not blessing? So, in general, our if our reference is this world, okay, and whatever happens in this world, that is only matters to me. If we are with that consciousness, then what we expect from Krishna? That Krishna, you bless us so that we can be happy in this world, and we can continue performing our own pastimes. Okay, so we feel that Krishna should help us in being happy in this world only. Why? Because all our references this world only. But actually, what Krishna is doing, he's actually playing the flute, and he's asking us to come to the spiritual world and see my pastimes and become happy. So Krishna is calling us to the spiritual world. That is why he is playing the flute. But what we want Krishna to bless us so that we can be happy in this world only, and not that we want to see Krishna's pastimes, but we want to perform our own pastimes. So the self-centered life is actually like that. So when the reference is this world, everything that happens in this world start affecting us. But bhakti is transcendental, and if our reference in this world is this world, then what happens in this world will affect us too much, and we start feeling like bhakti is also burden. We are practicing bhakti, but no material growth is happening. We are practicing bhakti, but my situations are not changing. So what we are doing here, the reference point we have kept as the changes in this world, and because of that we feel bhakti is not working, right? So what does this mean? That Trinikritya Jagat Sarvam, the whole universe becomes insignificant, means the more we chant, the more we read, the more we hear about Krishna, gradually our reference point will change from this world to Krishna. Okay, that means whatever happens in this world may affect us, okay, but it is not as much as affecting when our reference is this world only. That means when we become more and more Krishna conscious, the things will keep on changing in this world, but that will actually don't agitate us. Now it doesn't mean that we don't care about the things, but actually we will not have faith or the confidence in the material things. We will not think that the material changes will only make me happy or sad. Okay, we know that material changes keep happening, but I don't worry much about this. So once Srila Prabhupada went to America and he went to Washington, okay, Washington DC, and there he was preaching and he was telling that I came to this remote corner of the world to preach Krishna's message. Now, what Prabhupada said? Remote corner of the world. Now, for Americans, Washington is the center of the world. Okay, and some people actually feel that America is the only place that exists, so that much they are obsessed with their greatness. Okay, and when Prabhupada said like he is the remote corner of the world, now they were astonished, like how can you say that it is the remote control, remote corner of the world, it is the center of the world. So for Americans, they are possessed with the feeling that America is great. So for them, the reference point is America, and that is why they feel like it is the center of the world. But for Prabhupada, Mayapur was the center of the world. Why? Because Lord Chaitanya appeared over there. So the Yuga Avatara appeared over there, and the Yuga Dharma is getting propagated from there. So the center of the universe, actually center of the world, is actually Mayapur. So when Srila Prabhupada acquired a small piece of land in Mayapur, okay, so that was like a remote corner in the Mayapur. Now, when his disciples and he were there and they were discussing about this land, so Prabhupada said, this place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared and descended over here, this will be our spiritual headquarters of the world. Now, that time when Prabhupada brought the land, actually nothing was there. Not even one human being was visible inside that vicinity, and all they could see is the overgrown the bushes and the grass and all, so it was very dirty and all. So when Prabhupada said this is going to be the headquarters, all his disciples were like shocked, and they said like, Prabhupada, how can you say like this, here nothing is there. So then Prabhupada said like, your vision is material, right? You have forgot that this is the place where Lord Chaitanya has come. Okay, this is the place where the yoga dharma will get propagated. So that is why this will be our spiritual headquarters of the world. So for a devotee, America or India or any other country is not the center. For him, Krishna is the center. So just like he said, remote corner of the world for Washington and spiritual headquarters for Mayapur, because Krishna is the center. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, also repeatedly Krishna talks about how we have to be sthira buddhir. That means do not have the reference of this world. Okay, do not actually get agitated or rejoice in just seeing the changes in this world. So, in one of the verse of 5.20, where Krishna says that न प्राहृषेत प्रियम प्राप्य नो द्विजेत प्राप्य चा प्रियम स्थिर बुद्धिर असमूढ़ो brahmavid brahmani sthitah. So what Krishna says, a person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant, that means when something good happens we are not jumping out of joy, nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant. So if something wrong happens or something we lose, we are not just crying and cribbing and lamenting. So who is self intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. So, what Krishna is asking us to be sthira buddhir. And when we can be sthira buddhir? When our reference point is not this world. So, if our reference point is this world, then everything will actually either make us happy or make us sad. If something good happens into this world, let us say we are looking for a job. If we get a job, then we will feel like, oh, I'm very much happy. I'm jumping out of joy because I wanted I got what I wanted and I'm happy. And if we lose a job, then we will start crying, oh, I lost my job and all. So the job may come, may not come. That is a part of life, but that is not the center of our life, right? So devotee knows that, Krishna is the center of my life. So whatever happens in Krishna consciousness for me, that actually matters me more. So Srila Prabhupada says that a devotee can be perplexed, but he is not discouraged. That means even after becoming a devotee also, there will be lot of confusions. There will be situations where we'll not have clarity. But he will never be discouraged means he will never feel like, I don't want to serve at all. So he will always have a desire to serve, even in spite of all the confusions. And he will actually seek clarity from Krishna. So he will not just go back to the material things. So just because things are not clear here, I'm not able to do anything. So give up bhakti and just go back to the material life and enjoy over there. So he'll not think like that because his center is always Krishna. So faith means that we take one step further even when the full path is not clear. Even Prabhupada, he doesn't have the whole blueprint of how he is going to go to America, how he is going to preach and all. Nothing was clear. He just took one step at a time and everything he explored with the time. So similarly, faith means even when we do not have the clarity, even when we don't see any great changes in our spiritual life, still what we will do? We will persevere. Okay. So if we keep our eyes fixed on the world, then we cannot fix our heart on Krishna. So if our concern is all about what is happening in this world, what is happening in my material life, then we cannot keep our heart on Krishna. So similarly, if our eyes are fixed on Krishna, then our heart can also be fixed on Krishna. And with this, what will happen? We will deal our material problems, our material situations with more maturity. So if we shift our focus, if we shift our reference from the material world to Krishna, it is not that we are becoming irresponsible, we are giving up the world, but what we are doing, we are dealing the problems with a more matured way. So a devotee can be concerned about the problems without getting disturbed. But a non-devotee, he'll be concerned about the problems and he'll be disturbed also. So what is the difference? If we are disturbed, then what is in our control, that also we cannot be able to do it, right? So we have to be concerned about the problems. Okay, we are concerned about our family, we are concerned about our income sources, we are concerned about the other people, but we are not disturbed by them. So that is why when someone gives us honor, when someone gives us dishonor, when someone becomes auspicious, when someone becomes inauspicious, all these things will keep on going there. But that actually doesn't affect us. Why? Because our center of life has become Krishna. So the more we hear about the glories of Krishna, the more we hear about them, the more we fix our heart and eyes on Krishna, what will happen? Trinakritya Jagat Sarvam. So that means all the big things also seems like small. If we get a lot of money also, we will say, okay, fine, it is Krishna's mercy. If we lose everything also, we will say, okay, it is Krishna's mercy. If we are growing, we will say like it is Krishna's mercy. If we are getting stuck, then we will pray to Krishna, like, release me from this stuck. So what we are doing is everything we are making Krishna as the center. And when we make Krishna as the center, the big things or small things all looks as insignificant as blade of grass. So when Prabhupada was actually losing money in his business was actually going down, then he was actually not worried about it. He just thought, okay, Krishna wanted me to serve directly. I thought like I'll flourish my business and make a lot of money and serve in preaching. But Krishna has different plans. So he's taking away everything from me so that I can completely engage in his service. So when many changes were happening in Prabhupada's life on the material level, that actually only excelled his speed into Krishna consciousness. It did not stop him, right? Even on the bodily platform, when he was not healthy, That time also he was Krishna conscious. He was not thinking, oh, why this health is going down, okay, oh, why when I'm serving Krishna, why this is happening. So he was not thinking all that. What he was thinking, he was thinking about how I can serve more because I have less time. So like this, when a devotee has Krishna center, then his reference point is no more the material world, then it feels like Trinakritya Jagat Sarvam. And the second line is Chidananda Mayam Shuddham. So in this world, actually, happiness is there, okay, but happiness is not like, all pure and all increasing. We can see there is something called as law of diminishing returns. That means whatever we like, whatever we feel like enjoying, you start doing it for multiple times, you'll not find same joy. Okay, for example, let us say you like gulab jamun. Okay, so you eat one gulab jamun, you will say, wow, wonderful taste. You eat two, you eat three, you eat four, then you will say, hey, you also can have, no? Okay, so then what will happen after eating 10, 15 gulab jamuns? You will say, it's enough, I don't want to eat more, right? So with the first gulab jamun to the 10th gulab jamun, 15th gulab jamun, the pleasure is actually decreasing. That means even if it is our favorite, we cannot eat more. But it is not with the holy name. The holy name, the more we chant, what Srila Rupa Goswami says, Tunde Tandavini. That means when the Krishna, these two syllables are dancing on my tongue, I feel like I should have thousands of tongues and millions of ears to hear that. So we cannot have anything Chidananda Mayam Shuddham in this world. Everything is actually diminishing. It may give pleasure a little bit in the beginning, but over a period of time, we lose interest in that. From childhood till now, we have seen that so many things were there which were interesting initially, but we lost interest over a period of time, right? Why? Because they are not completely pure. Now, Krishna's holy name is, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Purnamrita Aswadanam. So, Pratipadam Purnamrita Aswadanam. So, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying and what we are experiencing is very contradictory because we don't feel like that taste, isn't it? So, why this is happening? Because our reference point is still material world. So when we are chanting, when we are serving Krishna, all the time we are thinking about this world only. And that is why the taste is not coming. And when we hear these glories of Krishna's holy name, then we have to get a conviction. Okay, if the Goswamis, if the great pure devotees are talking all about this, that means someday I'll be able to achieve this taste. So sometimes our mind will discourage us. It will be say like, it's been long time you are practicing bhakti, but still you do not have a taste. I don't think so that you will be ever able to reach to that stage. So when we get discouraged, we should not see how far we have to go. When we are discouraged, we have to see how far we have come. When we look back, maybe some of you started your journey 6 months back or 1 month back or some years back. Before you start, you never thought, or we never thought, like, we'll be chanting 16 rounds, we'll following four regulative principles, we'll be giving up non-veg, we'll be giving up our movies, TVs, everything. So many things we have actually given up. So bhakti, the process is evolutionary, but the results are revolutionary. So what does this mean? Evolutionary means every day you are chanting your rounds. Okay, yesterday I chanted, today I chanted, tomorrow I'll chant, but I don't see that some difference is coming. Okay, but if you see the difference between what you were 6 months back or 1 year back and now, you will actually amazed to see the results. So many things which you thought you will never be able to give up, actually you are giving up. So many people we thought like we'll never be able to forgive, and today we are able to forgive them. So many changes are happening. So when we are discouraged, we have to look back. Okay, how far we have come. It is not that on our own we have come. We have tried every day not to be Krishna conscious, but it is Krishna's mercy that he has made us walk through all this time. And similarly, if he has brought us so far, he will take us far ahead also. So we need not worry about it. What Krishna is saying, what devotees are saying about the holy name, that will happen in our life also. Because Krishna has made many things happen in our life, and he will make many things happen further also. So what we have to do, we have to listen more about Krishna, we have to hear more about Krishna, We have to talk about Krishna, we have to chant nicely, we have to serve Krishna, so that our reference point will not become this material world, but our reference point will become the Krishna centered life. That is, spiritual world will become the reference. So, whatever things may happen in this material world, compared to the ultimate reality, the spiritual world, Krishna, in front of that, all this is just like a blade of grass. And the real happiness is not here, but here, and it is chidanandamayam shuddham. It is not normal happiness, it is the eternal happiness. It is ever growing happiness, right? The nature of the happiness is it should grow, but in this world the happiness will come down. It will come up, come down, come up, come down, but the spiritual happiness is always growing. So that anandam which we will get through holy name, and that holy name reigns all over the things. The bliss and the joy that we can get in the holy name, we cannot get anywhere else, actually, right? So that is what this verse talks about us. So what we have begun, I'll just summarize. So we have spoke about that, positive thinking doesn't mean that, yeah, positive thinking means changing the perception. That means we are not saying half empty, but we are saying half full. But bhakti is not only about changing the perception, but changing the perspective. That means from where we are seeing. It is not about what we are seeing, but from where we are seeing. And bhakti is not only about from where we are seeing, but bhakti is also about changing the reference. We have given the example of when we are moving in a flight in a sky, it feels like the plane is not moving or moving slowly. But when it is landing, then we will see that it is very fast. So similarly, our reference point, if it is material world, every small change will start affecting us. But if our reference is Krishna, our reference is spiritual world, then the things that are changing in this world will not affect us. And Krishna is repeatedly telling us that be a sthira buddhir, sthita prajna. That means do not get overjoyed when you get good things in life. Do not get distressed or lament when the bad things happen to you. Just be calm. Even Krishna says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya sukha dukkha uh, agama payino nitya stamsitikshasva bharata. So just tolerate the happiness and distress. All right. So like that, Krishna is telling us through different ways that, be sthira prajna. And how we can be sthita prajna? When we pick Krishna as our reference, not this material world. So if our eyes are fixed on Krishna, our heart can be fixed on Krishna. And when this happens, we will get more power to deal with the problems of our life. Okay, if not, then our problems will start affecting us so much. So our attitude towards problems will change when we keep Krishna as our center. If we keep ourselves as center, then all the small problems also will start affecting us. And this holy name is Chidanandamayam Shuddham. That means this is actually purely, transcendentally, eternally blissful thing. So nothing in this material world can give us the eternal happiness, but only this holy name can give us. So this is what this verse talks about. So I'll just recite the verse and then you can meditate on what I spoke. तृणकृत्य जगत् सर्वं राजते सकलोपरि चिदानन्दमयं शुद्धम् हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम्. It makes the entire universe seem insignificant as a blade of grass. It reigns supreme over all in a splendorous manner. It is full of eternally conscious divine ecstasy. It is supremely pure. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. So thank you so much, everyone. I know it takes a little long time, but it is important. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.